Hi everyone, my name is Queen B. How are you doing? Okay, I just wanted to have a little chit chat, and my topic today it's about fulfilling your dreams. Now, if there is one place that has the lives of so many people or the dreams of so many people locked down like in a cell in a prison, it would be what I would call the prison of the fear of the unknown. Yes, the fear of the unknown is a prison cell that is holding so many people captive. So many people who have freely walked into that jail because of the fear of the unknown. Okay, so I know that everyone, every single person, regardless, boy, girl, male, female, grandpa, grandma, whoever you are, everyone has a dream. Be it a little itty bitty tiny dream or a huge, massive dream. We all dream. Okay? So, how many of us have gone ahead to try to achieve the goals of our dreams? People say life happens. Life happens. And so many times when life happens, it just throws us off course. And sometimes we either abandon the dreams totally or we shelve it and hope for the perfect time to come for us to fulfill the dream. Perfect time? Is there ever a perfect time? Is there ever a perfect time? Never. You have to make the time perfect for you. And sometimes in imperfect times, you might find the perfect scenario. Did you hear that? Should I say that again? Sometimes in imperfect situations, you might just find the perfect setting to go for your goals and achieve it. Sometimes, what are the limitations that we have? The limitations could be either finance, because money opens all as many doors as one can open. Money. So sometimes the limitations is finance, not having the right amount of money or having access to the amount of money that you require to achieve your goals could be a hindrance. Sometimes the expertise of how to go about, the knowledge of how to go about achieving your goals could be another. Sometimes the support of other people or the encouragement of other people to inspire you, because sometimes you might have a dream and all you really need is just someone who believes in you, someone who would inspire you and encourage you and shove you to to take that bold step. So sometimes we all need encouragers around us. So if you surround yourself with positive minded people, people who are fearless, to inspire you and encourage you, you can walk into your goal and work towards achieving your dream. Right? So another thing is, when you dream, you often say to yourself, is it possible? Is it possible? And in the place of asking that question, is it possible? Guess what sets in? Fear. When fear sets in, then you start to limit yourself about the possibility of you achieving or even working towards achieving that goal. So you limit yourself because you become afraid. You look at other people who have achieved what you are hoping to, but you count them as, you count them better or superior to you, and you don't count yourself worthy. Yes, there's so many of you. You think back. Now I'm going to take you all the way back to your primary school, when you were growing up, and adults come to the house, or your parents would ask you, what do you want to be when you grow up? Some people say, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a lawyer, I want to be a singer, I want to be a drummer. Guess which was very popular? I want to be a fireman, I want to be a policeman, I want to be a teacher. I want to be a soccer player, I want to be a musician, I want to be an artist, to draw beautiful pictures. I want to be a sculptor. I want to be a carpenter. I want to be a teacher. Did I say that? Yes. I want to be a carer. I want to be a nurse. That was another popular one as a young kid. So we have all of these beautiful goals of, things that we want to aspire to become. And then little itty bitty things come and distracts, and our focus changes. Again, what? Life happens. So for many people, say people who wanted to focus on education, so sometimes you have to take a particular exam to qualify to go into a university or something. And sometimes as life happens, maybe you get distracted, or you were not focused enough, and you take the exams but don't get the required points that you need to get into the university to do the particular course that you want to do. And that immediately distracts, it derails you from going on to achieving your goals, your dreams. And so what happens? You have to readjust yourself and then choose a second option. So immediately your life changes. You were going this way, and suddenly you're going that way. Why? Because something happened and you're not able to fulfill what your desires are. But guess what? There are some people, when that happens, the second option is not an option for them. What do? They go back and either retake the exams, because they are focused, they are determined to get to where they want to get to. So they go back, retake the exams, and move on. And while others take the second option, and immediately their goals are shelved and their life is altered because of that first stumbling block that they met along the way. I remember growing up, I always wanted to be a writer. At first, actually, my cousin, would I call her my auntie? So I'm just giving a little backstory. My auntie, who was a nurse, and when I asked her what she was training to be a nurse. And as a little girl, if you're a nurse, you're a nurse. I didn't know that there were specialist areas in nursing. So when I asked her, so what do you love to do in your job? And what are you going to do when you finish your university? Because she was training to be a nurse. And she said she wanted to be a dietitian. Now, I can't recall asking her what dietitians do. I was probably like 9. I'd never really asked her, but the sound of that word dietitian, it just sounded so important that I held on to that word. And every time, right from through secondary school, even though my parents, I always said I was going to be a lawyer, but outside of that, when people would ask me, so what are you going to be when you grow up? I said, I'm going to be a dietitian. I never really knew what dietitians did. Well, now it's easy to know from the word diet. You know that those are people who would, organize and do meal plans, meal preps, and, find nutritional things to support people who either have to have a specific kind of diet due to health reasons or, physical needs or whatever. But I just love the word dietitian because it sounded so important. So I held on to it. You know, the things that kids do. Yeah. Anyway, so that laid aside. But really, what I really loved to do was to be more on the creative side. And on the creative side, yes, I loved to act. I loved to sing. But what I loved most was to write. I loved to write. I could sit down and make up a whole story in my head and write it down. And when I'll give it to people to read, they'll be crying. And I'm thinking, oh, excuse me, it's not that bad. So no, it was a sad story. And oh my God, you really made it come to life. And I said, oh, okay. You know, that wasn't the intention. I was just making things up. And other times I'll write something and they'll be like laughing. And I'm thinking, okay. So I knew that there was something there. And, but then growing up, the focus of most of our parents was either to become a lawyer, become a doctor, an accountant, and what else? An economist or something, you know? Something that they knew that was in the mainstream that would get you employment. So there wasn't that much push towards being on the creative side. So, but growing up in school, I would write, you know, plays for our drama clubs. I was one of the secretaries in the debating club, you know, so I was really into the creative side of doing things and I loved it. But the funny thing was that I was quite shy. I was really shy. But behind the scene, I would, you know, write up all of these things, do everything that I needed to do. And it was lovely to see the feedback from people. But slowly I started building up my confidence to, you know, to come before the camera. Initially, people who know me, actually, let me take that back. People who know me intimately, that's in my close circle of friends, they don't see me as shy, okay? Because when I'm with my friends, I'm just me. I'm loud and I'm playing about, messing about, always trying to make someone laugh, you know? But when I'm with strangers, that's when you can tell that I'm really reserved. I'm a totally different person in the midst of strangers because I'm mindful about my environment. I'm conscious of who's around me. I'm always I put my best foot forward to be clear. That's what I do. So I'm quite reserved when I'm outside. But in the midst of my close friends, family, I can be a bit of a yeah. I can let loose. Anyway, so going back to my creativity, I continued to write. When I got into university, I didn't do too much writing in my first or second year. But I got involved in the arts. So I was part of the Afro-Caribbean Society and I was organizing, you know, dramas, fashion shows, and anything that we needed to do creatively, I was participating in it and I loved it. I loved to design clothes. I could sew with my hands basically, and with a thread and needle, that is not with a machine. I could actually sew a simple outfit, but I could, if I wanted to make something complicated, I would probably have to look at it, you know, and, you know, I can attempt, you know. So my whole brain and my system is geared towards the creative side. So over the years, I, you know, toy around with, I was in the choir. I was in the choir, but I was better in the background. I was better as the backup. I just never had the need, the desire to be the focus, like to be a lead. I just never had that desire to be. I just loved being in the background and singing my heart out. So that's where I was most comfortable. So I was in the choir, so yes, like I said. And then I started writing songs. I love music so much. I in my spare time, I could be in my room all day and I've been listening to music. You know, I would know like all the words of songs. You know, in school I had like a whole book, and I would have my, song book, and so everyone knew who's close to me knows that I am more on the creative side, and I just love doing what I do. Anyway, so I think towards the end of my final year, I started writing. You know, I would write short, drama skits. I toyed around with writing a novel, but there was too much going on. Too much going on in my young life. Come on, I was like 22, 23. It's too much fun out there to be locked up in a room writing stuff. And at the time we didn't even have the internet like we do now, or the mobile systems that we have now, where you could write on the move, so you didn't have to be restricted to a pen and paper. Back in the days, that's all we had. If you wanted to write, you would be stuck in a room doing all the writing, and so yes, so kids of these days, they don't know how fortunate they are that they can be on the move, and with just a single phone in their hand, they can achieve so much. You can work remotely, you can do all sorts of things. So times have changed. Life is good now, guys. Enjoy it. Anyway, so coming back to what I was talking about following our dreams. Regardless of if you've been sidelined, or if you've been distracted, or life just happened and there are things in your life that you wanted, you desired, that was part of your life goals, and if you haven't achieved them, guys, it's never too late. That is the focus of my message, that it is never too late to follow your dreams. Don't sell yourself short. I know that it's so easy to feel intimidated. It's so easy to write yourself off. It's so easy to compare yourself to others and consider yourself not worthy or not good enough. It's so easy. But I'm here to tell you, don't write yourself off. Most people that you see that are succeeding or have succeeded, trust me, they went in there scared, went in there unsure of what they were doing, went in chasing after their dreams with fear. Fear. Yes. And so I'm telling you today, if there's anything you desire to do, just get up. Get up and start to do it. Get up and start looking for whatever you would require that would support you. If it is finance, you start looking around for how you can make that money, or how you can start saving, or how you can find sponsors who when you sell your plans to them, would believe in you and support you. If it is expertise to do what you need to do, go learn, go back to college, go do a short course, go on the internet. There's so much available on the internet where you can learn different skills. Go and perfect your skills, and to enhance what you already have naturally in you. Go and enhance it by getting the expert training that you need to build the skills. Yes, and then when you do that, share your dreams with one or two people. Share your dreams, share your goals with one or two people. I know that some people could kill your dreams, so be mindful on that one. Be mindful on the people that you choose to tell your dreams, because some people are dream killers. Yes, trust me. And there's some people who are dream nurturers. When you tell them about your dream, they'll be so interested that they'll nurture you, and they'll come asking you all the time, oh, how far? What have you done? What are you doing? What's going on? What plans have you made? How can I help? So there are people like that. So test the waters of the people you speak to and just give them a little bit. Don't just pour everything out to them, because sometimes it might be too much for them to handle. So just, just say and share, oh, you know what? I was thinking of doing so and so, but I'm a little bit unsure about what if I would succeed at doing it. What do you think? And in that question, what do you think, is where you would find the answer of if you should carry on sharing your dreams with this person or just run away from that person. So, yes, so share with someone, and then if you feel comfortable that this person is buying into your desire, is buying into what you see, because not everyone can see what you desire, but you have to make them see you have to get into their mind eye, get into their head, because your description of your desire and the enthusiasm with which you sell it to them can buy them over. So it's also on you to sell it to them in that way. So when you do share that dream, and someone else knows it, then accountability comes in, because you become accountable to those people that you have shared that dream to, because they're going to come back and ask you, so what are you doing about it? Oh, where are you now? What's the next step? And they'll ask you questions. So share the dream with someone who you think will be there to encourage you, support you, and not someone who will kill your dreams. So anyway, going ahead. So with my writing, I started writing, and I would write. I would have periods of where I'm so into it, and I would write a couple of chapters, and then something happens, some distraction, and then I'll lay it aside. And if you ask any writer, they'll tell you that it happens. That's why sometimes it takes people almost like 5 years, 10 years back in the days to write one book. That's how long these things take. That's how long it takes. So I wasn't under pressure. I wasn't trying to get a book out and then like in the next year or anything. I was just, it was a form of release for me. It was a form of release. And as I built on the characters, I became, they were like family to me now. Those characters were like family to me. I would talk to them in my head, they were like family to me as I built on the characters. And that's how I started writing, and I'll put it on hold. I had my little, bag where I would stash all of my writing. In those days, it was mostly on paper. And then as time progressed, I started, shifting things onto the computer, where I would have save it on a flash drive, and after that I shifted all of them into my laptop. And I have so many old laptops that I can't get rid of, because they hold precious content that I can't do without. And every time I'm moving from one country to another, the first things you see me packing are my laptops. The early laptops were really heavy. So as the newer ones came, I would upgrade my laptops. And I'm sure someone is asking me, so why aren't you transferring things? I have transferred some, but then you know what? Sometimes I'm saying, let sleeping dogs lie. Leave it there where it's safe. So I've got several laptops that I'm walking about with that have informations of different things that I have written over the years. Anyway, then I went through a phase when I started writing songs. I was more into the gospel music, because at that point in my life, I was really involved in church. I was in the choir, and that's where my inspiration was coming from. So I was writing a lot of songs. So simultaneously I was between writing books, writing songs. I wasn't in any drama clubs or whatever. So that part of my creativity was kind of sidelined and I wasn't involved, and I wish I did. In the church, yes, I was head of the drama team. So in the church, I would write the dramas for the special seasons, say Easter, Christmas, Mother's Day. I would get the children to act, a skit or something, in the Sunday school children. So yes, I was active in that light, but in the sense of me personally being a part of a drama team outside of church, is one thing I wish I did. I wish I did. I just got so, distracted that I wasn't thinking about me, you know. I was doing everything for everyone else, for the team, for the church, for everything else, but I wasn't focused on developing myself in that area of, being in the midst of other like-minded creatives who were acting at not necessarily TV level, but but if, and even so, if I wanted to and if I had focused on that, I am sure I probably would have done well. But hey, you win some, you lose some. So anyway, around the year 2000, I really got into writing more songs. And I was writing them not with the intentions of me singing them, but I was writing them for other people to sing. And at one point, my niece she has a beautiful voice. And oh my goodness. So I wrote some songs. And when she came over to visit, I was living in the States at the time. When she came over to visit, I actually enrolled her for what was it called then? The Voice? No, not The Voice. America's Got Talent, or one of the ones. Yeah. So yeah, so we went, and back in the days you would go and queue up, and we were out there with the masses, and we queued up. She got a ticket, and but once you have a ticket, if you can't go in on the day, you come back the next day to go and try out. So we got a ticket, all right, because we sat there in the sun, went round like a spiral, so like a, oh my goodness, it took forever that day, but it was a whole day. But we were committed, and we went and we got the ticket, and we got home, and we were supposed to go back the next day for her audition, and she just suddenly changed her mind. She just suddenly said she couldn't be bothered, and that's not what she wanted to do. I mean, she was 17 going on 18. She was supposed to be going into her first year of university to study law. So she wasn't so desperate. So that wasn't her thing. She has the talent, but that wasn't the talent that she wanted to use in life going forward. She wanted to be a lawyer. And so she wasn't fussed about, using that natural talent that she had. And so we never went back that day, and she missed that opportunity. I don't know if it's a missed opportunity because it wasn't what she wanted. It seemed like it was what I wanted for her, knowing the talent that she has, but it wasn't what she wanted. So I said fine, and we never went back. But once in a while, I would say to myself, what if we had gone, maybe she could have been shortlisted, to maybe the semis or whatever. But hey, that's gone. That's behind us now. Well, I must let you know that she successfully completed her law degree, went on to do her master's, and she's got an MBA in petroleum sciences or whatever she does, but she's accomplished and she did well. So nothing's lost. So, but that goes to show you that there are other people who have the talent but don't really have no use for it. You know, they would use it in their own personal time, singing in the bathroom and doing all whatnot, you know. And once in a while they would sing in a public place, and people were like, whoa, what was that you? You know? But, you know, and there are other people who desperately want that talent, but just don't have it. Anyway, so I would write the songs, and, you know, I was hoping to get someone to sing it. We actually made it into a studio on one of her visits, and we paid for a session, and she did a few recordings, but we never completed it, and she went back. She was living in the UK at the time, and she would come over to the US on holidays to be with me. And yeah, so we never really completed the song. So I had a whole bunch of songs just sitting there, you know. I didn't want to sing it because I always felt like I wasn't good enough. I was good as a backup singer, but I didn't think I was good enough to be in the lead. You know, so over the years, I wrote some more songs, and I would keep them in my archive, you know. I don't know what I was saving them for, but I was writing them, so they were there. My writing on the other end was also coming up nicely. I had written a children's book, which I self-published. I had a cookbook that was incomplete, or that is incomplete. I have I have a script that I have been toying with the idea of what to do with. I was going to contact, you know, Nollywood to see if it's something I could throw. I could, you know, speak to them about, but the timing was off, so that never happened. And then I've got an adult fiction that is in editing. So you can see that my whole focus has always been on the creative side. So I'll tell you one thing. So after my self-published children's book, I decided, you know what? Since I do love to write, why not go back? Because I actually wanted to go back and do a master's, but I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do a master's in. I didn't want to do one in, I didn't want to do an MBA. I didn't want to do any of those ones because I thought, you know, my area of work, I really didn't need that to do what I do. So I had gone ahead and done a postgraduate prior in human resource management. So I was good. And if I just needed to do any more certifications, I could have just taken more professional exams, and that would have been good for what I do. Anyways, so I thought about what I could do to hone my talent. So I decided to go and do a master's in creative writing. Why not? If that's where my passion lies, I may as well go and perfect my talent. So I enrolled to do an MA in creative, digital, and professional writing. And that was the best thing that I could have done. It was just amazing that even without the expertise of what I now know, when I look back, I think I did a pretty good job with my children's book. I got help. When I say help, I did go onto the internet. I did some online classes, to guide me on how to, the process of writing professionally, editing and, and then everything else. And the little bits of things that you wouldn't know if you're not in the industry. So I got to know all of those things. But actually being in class with other like-minded people, where I was, being taught the basics of, writing, what is required by the industry standards and everything. It was just refreshing for me. It was exciting. I couldn't wait to get into class every day, But I had some hard knocks, I must say. It wasn't easy. That's one thing I must tell you. It wasn't easy. My professor was, oh my God, she was tough. She was a tough cookie. And oh my God, when we would do writings in class and when, we would exchange it for other people to read our work out in class, and then they'll critique you. That was the worst. Oh my goodness. You must have a thick skin to be in a class full of people critiquing your work that you would have put in so much time and effort, that you would have given yourself a pat on the back to say, well done, you did a fantastic job. And then you have people literally tear your work to pieces. Literally tear your work to pieces. They will dissect everything, and you're sitting there with a straight face. I tell you, I kid you not, some people literally walked out of the class in tears because they couldn't take it. They couldn't take it because this is work that they had sat down probably all night and created from scratch. And then you have someone that you think, a fellow classmate that you think is not deserving or is not worthy to judge you, literally judge you and tear your work to pieces. I remember at first we were being kind to one another and people were mindful, and they won't really say the truth of what they, of what they see in your work. They wouldn't give you an honest feedback because they were mindful of your feelings, and they, and our professor said to listen, the worst thing you can do to someone is not tell them the truth. That is the worst thing you can do to someone, not tell them the truth. So if you think that you're being kind by not saying what you see and by not critiquing the work honestly, then you're doing yourselves a disservice, because guess what? If you can't get it right in the classroom here, the world will teach you a big lesson, because trust me, they're not going to be sympathetic towards you. The world, they don't care. So if you go out there and write a rubbish book, they're going to tell you it's rubbish. They're going to tell you it's rubbish. So what do you prefer? To be in a classroom with your classmates where you are here to learn. You're here to learn. So while you're learning, be accepting of whatever criticisms you're given, because in that criticism, what do? You go back and review your work and you improve on your work. And it's only through repetitive, rewrite that you can become perfect. So you have to develop a thick skin. It was hard. And there were many tears in the classrooms, and there were times when some people wouldn't come into class for a couple of days because they just couldn't face the rest of us. And I had days when I was knocked. But you see, after the talk that we had with the professor, I said to myself, you're here to learn. You are not here to impress anyone. You are here to learn. So whatever is told you, take it like gold. Handle it like precious metal. Handle it like diamond and run with it. Run with it. Cage it. Love it. Nurture it. And once I had that mentality, I was good. I would boldly write, go into class and wait for the feedback. It wasn't always good, but it was okay because I was learning. And at sometimes I became so hard on myself that even when I was writing, I would do a critical review of my own work. And I was tough on myself. And I would see myself going back to rewrite, to edit, to amend, change things around. And it made me a better writer. Well, I say so. Even if I say so myself, I think my writing improved. It really did improve. There were times when I would be critiqued and I'd be so mad because I'm thinking, well, how else? What else do they want? What else do I need to do to get here? And it used to go, ugh. But you know what? It's okay. It's okay to feel that way, because why? You're getting better. Better. Like they say, practice makes perfect. So, yeah, so that's how I completed my MA, and yay, I did finish. I graduated, and I am happy for it, for that decision I made to go ahead and, get the skills required to chase my dreams. Okay, so going forward, I occasionally, I'm still writing. I'm still in a full-time employment, doing what I've always done. I work in human resources. I work with, I'm an advisor. So I've been in that area of dealing with people, and I enjoy it. I enjoy helping people. I enjoy serving people. I enjoy guiding people. It's always been a pleasure. It's always been a source of, satisfaction for me to know that I am able to make a difference in someone's life based on my guidance or my advice, my just call me a solution provider. Call me a solution provider. I'm a huge critic as well, but the good thing about it is that when I critique you, I'm also providing the solution to the problem. So it's not just critiquing and letting you off. I would support and as much as I can. So anyway, from time to time, I would have this crazy urge to record one of my songs. It would come from nowhere. And I would have the crazy urge to record one of my songs. But then I haven't been singing in a while. I mean, even in the choir, I haven't been singing. At home, once in a while, you hear me do my little but nothing much. But I would have this urge. And I remember in 2016, I had gone to this church, and I met this, no, not a church. I met this young man, and he played the piano, and he was at an event, and I actually enjoyed what he did, and I went around and had a conversation with him. And in our conversation, he said to me, that he has a recording studio. I said, really? I said, okay. And from our talking, I told him, I write songs, and we just had a general chit chat about, creative side of things. And he said, well, why don't you come over to my studio? Let's see if we can do one of your songs. Whoa. So I said, okay, I'll think about it. I'll speak to my husband and see, what we can do with it. And strangely, when I mentioned it to my husband, he was like, oh, okay. Yeah, okay, I'll take you. Where the studio was like almost like 2 hours drive from where we live. And I thought that would put my husband off to say, you know what, this is not the time for faffing around. And, if it's not something you want to do seriously, why are we going this far to just, for you to do this? But he was compliant. He said, yes, let's do it. And he drove me there. We went there. The first time we got there, the gentleman hadn't turned up. We were driving around for a while before we found the studio. We almost gave up. I had given up, to be honest, to say, you know what, honey, let's just leave. But my husband said, no, we've come this far, so let's just be patient and just see what he has. And then he took his, he didn't show up on time. His timekeeping was so poor. So we were there for nearly 2 hours, including the times that we got lost and we couldn't find the location, to when he actually got there. Could have been about 2 hours of us just waiting to start to meet with him. And then eventually when we did meet with him, you could see that this was something that he was just starting. So he wasn't like a studio that had been running. this is a dream that he has, and that he was just pursuing and just starting off. So I probably was one of his, I think he's had a few, one or two people that he'd worked with, but he wasn't really focused on it because he also had a regular 9 to 5, I believe. So that was something he was doing on the side. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with doing things on the side. But the thing is, if you are doing things on the side and you want to get paid for it, then you must be as professional as possible. You must be, because you're providing a service, and if you're being paid, then you must make sure that you have the right things in place, your timing is good, and be professional. That's what I have to say. Be professional. So we had a little session. It was like maybe for 45 minutes to an hour, and it was nice to hear me singing. He liked the lyrics. He liked the melody of the song, and we just played around with it. And on the way back home, I just said to my husband, this guy is not serious. So I don't think, if for someone who wants to venture on something new like this, I would want to be with someone who's experienced, someone who can guide me, someone who can steer me into areas that I probably haven't been before, someone who could encourage and inspire me. Because for all I see, this guy was just all about the recording session hours and blah blah blah. So really it was money. I couldn't see what he could put into my time or into my knowledge. I didn't see how he could feed me. I needed to be fed, because it's an area that, yes, I write and all that thing, but going actually to go and sing, I needed somebody who could give me that confidence that I needed to step up, and come forward to the fore rather than be back up, So I didn't feel comfortable with that situation. So I put that on hold again. Fast forward to 2023. Again, you see, sometimes, like I said when I first started, the timing might never be perfect, but in an imperfect timing, you can find perfect setting. And I think that's what happened. Out of nowhere, I just had this urge that my songs have been sitting in my archives for too long, and somebody needed to hear. Someone needed to get the inspiration from the songs. And so I called a friend of mine, and I said, listen, I'm traveling to Nigeria, and if there's any one place that I can make something happen, it's right there. I've got some songs that I think I'm ready to record, but I just don't know of any producers who can work with someone like me, who is not, I'm a baby in that kind of way. Someone who can literally hold my hands and guide me. And I thought she was going to laugh at me, to say, oh my goodness, are you sure? At your age, and it's not like I hear you sing all the time. Where are you going with this? She didn't say any of that. She just said, oh, okay, that's nice. Okay, I think I might know one or two people. Leave it with me. Let me speak to someone I know, and then I'll come back to you. I was shocked. It was like, okay, she didn't laugh, and she's taking me seriously. And she didn't laugh, and she said she'll come back to me. I said, okay. I didn't say anything to my husband at this point. And then the very next day, she came back to me. And she said, oh, listen, this is the number of a guy that I know, and he's very responsible. He's very good. call him and have a chat with him and see what he can do and see what you guys can come up with. When I got the number, I literally had cold feet. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, this is looking real now. I thought this was all a dream, like in my imagination, not in the real world, but this was looking real. So I got his number and I called him. Well, did I call him? I think I sent him a text. And then he came back to me, and then we had a chat, and I told him, who I am, what I've been doing, and the sudden need for me to want to now record these songs, even though I've never been one to be a lead singer. I've always sang in the background, but for some reason, I don't know where this boldness is coming from, but this is what I desire to do. I just feel like there's a message in this song for someone, and I just want to get that message out. It's not about the expertise, or it's not about the quality of my voice or anything. I just feel the need that there's a message in the songs, and I needed to get them out. He says, wow. He says he's impressed, and if I'm really serious and that's what I want to do, that he's available and he can work with me. Whoa. I said, okay. So he said, send me the songs that you have in mind. And he asked me how long was I going to be visiting for. I told him it was a short stay. And I thought that in itself would discourage him. He said, okay, we can work with that time. We'll see how it goes. So again, I'm thinking, all right, are all of these people crazy? How come all of these people are looking at me and listening to me and just saying yes, yes, yes to me? Nobody's saying no to me. What is going on? Then I went to my husband and I said, honey, listen, I've been having this desire to have some of my songs recorded. And because as we're going to Nigeria, I'm thinking, why not? I asked my friend, and she's, connected me to someone, and I've spoken to him, and he says it's doable. And I waited for my husband to say, excuse me? But he didn't. He said, okay. So what's next? I said, well, I've sent him the lyrics. They're going to look at the songs, and I sang in, sent them the samples of the songs. They're going to look at it, work on it, rearrange it if necessary, and then, set a time for us to meet, rehearse, get a backup singers for me, instrumentalists. Everything was moving so fast that I had no time to back out. Because things were moving boom, 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 boom. There was no time for me to say, hey, hold on a minute, this is all a joke. No, it happened so quickly. And so, yes, my husband said, sure, why not? You can never say never. You just never know. Just do it. If that's what you desire to do, just do it. And so that's how we got to Nigeria. I mean, before I went, the producer, had met with the instrumentalist, and they started working on the songs. They got backup singers. They started rehearsing the songs, sending me samples of what they had done. And I was doing my own recording and sending it back. And we were marrying the two things together. And suddenly I could see something building. And I'm thinking, oh my God, this is how things happen. So you just have to be dogged about it. You have to go in afraid. And I went in afraid at first, because I think I didn't have time to be afraid initially. But when things started unfolding and everyone was positive about it, that's when the fear set in. And I'm thinking, oh my goodness, this thing is real. But it was too late to back out at this point. It was too late to back out. There were too many people involved. And I thought, if you're going to do anything, do it afraid. Just do it. Just do it. And so I got there. The time frame that I was supposed to spend there wasn't sufficient to do all that we needed to do post-production and all of that. And guess what? My husband actually said, you think you may have to extend your stay. He had to pay for extra to change my ticket. And I think everything was just working for my good. You see, when God's hand is in something, you've got to give God something to work with. You've got to give God something to work with. And what I gave him was my desire. I gave him my desire, and he just, all he did was lift me up and guide me. And that's what happened. So I stayed back. We did all that we needed to do. And we recorded the songs. I'm not going to be the critic of my own songs. We had good sessions, and so the songs are done. We're in post-production, editing, and doing everything that needs to be done. And very soon, yes, the songs are going to be out there very soon. So if there's ever anything that you desire to do, regardless of how long it's taking you to get to that place where you can safely say to yourself, I want to do it, never give up. Never give up. Just do it. Do it afraid, but do it. And just leave the rest. Let the universe decide. Let the universe, deal with it, because you're done. It's done. It's there. It's out in the world forever. And like footprints, it'll forever be there. Even after you're gone, it'll be there. So whatever it is you desire to do, just do it. If I can do it, anyone can. Anyone can, because when the right time comes, you have to speak it out. When you speak it out, everything else will align with you to make it happen. And that's what happened to me. Everyone just aligned. And I don't know how I presented it, because I didn't try too hard to convince anyone, but they all were receptive. They were receptive. So whatever it is, however little, however big that you desire, a dream that you have, don't let it die. Don't be in the jail of fear of the unknown. That's the jailhouse. Don't be in that jailhouse. Break free. Break free and follow your dreams, regardless of how old you are, regardless of how long that dream has been in the jar, in your archive. Don't give up. If you really, truly desire, God will bring people to surround you that can make it happen. But first and foremost, you must desire, because out of your desire, you build. So that's my story. I hope it motivates and inspires someone out there to never give up on your dreams. However little, just keep dreaming, keep pushing, because that day will come. That ordained day will come when your dreams will come true. So that's my little chat to you today. Stay motivated. Stay motivated. And keep believing in yourself. Because if you don't believe in yourself, no one else will. Believe in yourself even while you're trembling and in fear. Keep believing. Keep believing. So I hope someone who watches this will be inspired. Don't give up. So long as you're breathing, there's hope. There is life. You can do it. Just do it. Just do it. Okay, guys, thank you for listening. And I wish you all the very best in whatever it is that you've decided to do. Do it. Thank you. God bless you. And have a good day wherever you are in the world. It's me, Queen Bee. Thank you. It was nice talking to you. Thank you. Thank you.